helps if my mic's on the right one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the outskirts of Castle Donington in Derby. The virtual recreation of Donington Park greets us tonight for round 5 of the SMRC iRacing Championship. And you are very, very welcome to it indeed. My name is Dave Christie, and joining me as always in the commentary box for the SMRC eSports iRacing Championship is none other than the man himself, Mr. Alex Goldschmidt. Alex, good evening. How are you?
Good evening to the Scottish Enigma alongside me in the virtual commentary box. Good evening, David. Good evening, everyone that are watching the SMRC eSports iRacing Championship. As always, mate, a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, never a chore to be on this. And a double 30 tonight around the national circuit. Yeah. This is just going to be brilliant. We've had some great action so far, but I think here at Donington, we both know that this track is not easy to master. And if you get it wrong, Donington Park can bite back. And I've seen that firsthand, having been in the commentary box with the BRSCC's very own Scott Woodwiss for the Caterham and Mazda MX-5 race weekend last year. And that had brilliant action, and I'm expecting the same with all our GT4 competitors tonight.
Yep, I'm expecting absolutely the same, just like yourself, Alex. So let's have a little talk about the national circuit, which is what we're on tonight. 1.957 miles or 3.14 kilometres around, and a wonderful, wonderful track. And just a point you mentioned there, Alex, is that it's deceptively easy. Very, very simple to the eye, lots of really nice fast flowing corners, but with these Porsches and how tricky the handling is on these GT4 cars is one that could bite several people in the proverbial very, very quickly tonight.
You mean in the backside?
Yes.
Come on. Come on, get your words out, man. Yeah, I think, when you look at, say, the approach through, going through into Redgate, and then you got the roller coaster style complex of curves. So you've got Hollywood, you've got the Craners, and then going into Old Hairpin. And then you've got the elevation change going back upwards, through McLean's, through Coppice, and then onto Starking Straits. And then, Schwanz Curve, that's an easy one to really, really get it wrong. And I've done, I've raced at Donington on simulators, especially at Simply Race, and it is not easy because you've really, really got to nail it perfectly. And if you get it wrong, as I said, it will, as we both said, it will bite you in the backside quite hard. And with the Porsches being rear-engined, that really, I think, puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage, because the minute the Porsche starts sliding for the tail end, it will have more weight over the back end as opposed to the BMW. So the BMW, in some respects, might not be as fast as the Porsche, as we're seeing through free practice at the moment, but it could come a lot better during the race. And the BMWs, a lot of people have sort of gone, well, we'll go with the Porsches, but the BMW has been updated through the software patches through iRacing. So it has helped the BMWs become a bit more competitive, but in just short brute speed, the Porsche is the car that the majority of this grid have got here tonight. But I wouldn't be so sure that the Porsches are going to have it easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I think they're really going to have the challenge brought to them by the BMWs. I'm just trying to find a car that is one that we can follow. In fact, here we are on board with Jack Hare coming through the final chicane. Let's very quickly take you through a lap. We've got about a minute left, so we'll get time to do this. Down the Wheatcroft straight then to start off the lap, and it's on the power, on the acceleration. You want to brake just on the exit of the pit lane there, down in towards Redgate. That first right-hander, deceptively difficult because it does tighten up as you're going through it. Then it's round through Hollywood. Easy right-hander there, still on the power, but this is where it's all going to come undone for a lot of drivers through the Craner curves, and these look majestic when we're on the TV cameras. Through the Old Hairpin there, you want to try and get a little bit of that gravel on the outside, but not too much. Around under Sarkey's Bridge in the Schwanz curve, and then it's into McLean's. You have to have the car settled completely, because you can easily lock and over-rotate the car under braking. Out of McLean's then, and on the run up towards Coppice, it's a double corner here. through the right-hander and then again on to Starkey Straight. Now, you're spoiled for choice with this circuit because normally you would go through the chicane on the left here, but since we're on the national circuit, we take the chicane at Roberts here to right and then a left. And again, if you can master this, you get an excellent run out for the start-finish straight and to attack the next lap there. So that was Jack Eyre there, and really he is in contention this weekend to do some good damage championship-wise.
Very much the case. I mean, obviously for those that are in the know, as you can see now, Lewis Ward, Fraser Williamson and Jack Eyre are covered, and I counted this correctly last time out, didn't I? I was actually on doing the old calculator business, and 208 points for Lewis Ward from Meraki Racing, Fraser Williamson on 207, Jack Eyre has managed to come back, and they are separated by just 2 points. The top three is Jack Eyre getting a bit busy with the headlights, asking Jacqueline Chalmers, "Come on, Jacqueline, please get out of the way. I am faster than you." But then you look at a bit further down the order. Ronald Korsman rounds out the top four ahead of Sam Corson, Jordan Gronkowski, Martin Buchan, Rory Bryant, Andrew Hopley, Michael Weddle, who rounds out the top 10, and they're covered by 78 points. But then you look a little bit further down the order. I'm just looking through every single one of the 36 drivers that have signed up and have competed in at least one round have all scored points, which is quite a feat as well when you look at the bigger picture. But just looking at that, I think really, David, we've got two 30-minute races here at Donington Park. If any of the top three has a bit of drama, Ronald Gronkowski, Ronald Korsman, my apologies there, Ronald, Sam Corson and Jordan Gronkowski, and maybe even, you look at the bottom part of the top 10. Now, Martin Buchan, Rory Bryant, Andrew Hopley and Michael Weddle, they can all profit. So we are still pretty much in the tentative early infantile phases of this championship. Apologies for the long superlative there, but I don't think that any driver in the top three is thinking, I've got to go for it. I can get the title in a couple of races' time. No, they've got to look at it as a marathon. They can't look at it as a sprint and think, well, I'm a point ahead. But then they're looking at it from a glass half full perspective here, David, because they're thinking, well, if I drop a wheel and I drop down the order, I might not score points, or I might score a couple of points, and then I lose maybe a 20-point lead, or a potential 20-point lead ahead of the other two. So it is still swings and roundabouts, as we saw that Martin Buchan is definitely testing the limits of the number 35. I love the sort of like the Regal Lion. Looks very much like the black version of the Dutch Lion on the front of the bonnet of that Porsche 718 Cayman. He's pushing the envelope, as you can see there. We've had Ronald Korsman go off track. So as we are now into officially qualification. So Martin Buchan, one of the first drivers to sort of test the limits of adhesion, shall we say.
Yeah, the other thing to note as well is that the track conditions may be significantly different from practice, and on the iRacing platform, the track conditions do make a big difference to the amount of grip, to the amount of adhesion that these big sticky tyres that the GT4s can actually lay down on the track. So we'll see, I think through the first couple of minutes, we'll see lots of off tracks, lots of excursions as drivers are really pushing things to the limit. But again, drivers just come through on their out laps, so you're going to see the times coming down significantly. I think it was about 104s and 105s that we were seeing through the free practice, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them come down even further. But let's go back actually just while you were talking about that, Alex, up to the championship standings there. Now obviously we've got Lewis Ward, Fraser Williamson, Jack Eyre there split by just 3 points, but further down the field as well, from say Jordan Gronkowski down to Michael Weddle, from say like even 5th place Sam Corson to 10th place, they're involved in their own massive scrap through that as well.
Yeah, I mean, some of the drivers that I would have thought would have probably been a bit further up the order, considering the initial great performances that we saw. You know, Vic Covey and Rory Bryant, they've had some standout performances so far, but then they've also had their fair share of dramas. And I'm going to go back to the incident post-race at Race 1 at Okayama. that was something that didn't really want to happen between those two guys because they work at the SMRC, as does Michael Weddle. But yeah, you're right, because that battle is just so close. And I'm having a look from Jordan Gronkowski to Michael Weddle. That is 5 drivers split by just 15 points. As Fraser Williamson, we had a quick chat before going on air. I'm absolutely disgusted with how quick he is. He's just done a 1 minute 10.328, and he's gone over 2.3 tenths of a second quicker than Peter Butcher. But Andrew Hopley, in the initial phase, is the leading BMW down in 5th place, 0.547 off of the pace of Fraser Williamson. Bucket, who we're with at the moment, is a second off the pace. And you've got 2 BMWs in the top 12 at the minute, with Mark Cuthbert down in 12th position. But it looks like we're going to have a bigger grid this time, David. So I think that it is about survival of the fittest. And as they say, to finish first you must finish.
That's some very sage advice there from Alex Goldschmidt, but absolutely appropriate given what we're about to see. We're already 1/3 of the way through qualifying. We're still on board with Martin Buchan. Let's have a look instead at your was currently poleman Fraser Williamson. Fires it back up there, 110.267, and that is what, just 400ths of a second ahead of Peter Butcher. So a real ding dong battle going on for qualifying for these two, Alex.
And plus, they're also an equal machinery. Lewis Ward, the current points leader by just a point ahead of this man on your screens at home, is just over 1/10 of a second adrift. Gronkowski showing good pace. Horseman running out the top 5. And then you look all the way down to, 15th position, as Raymond Davies just puts in a 1 minute 12.173. Lewis Ward goes to within 5 1,000ths of Fraser Williamson.
My goodness.
Oh, it's game on. But you look at the top 15, they're separated by just 1.9 seconds. And there is still plenty of...
Yeah, there's plenty left in the tank, isn't there? Because we're only into the tentative early stages, of the qualifying session. Now, another man that I want to draw attention to is this man here, Andrew Hopley. Has now, surprisingly, because we saw Kieran Smart in free practice, was the leading BMW there, and Andrew Hopley puts it up into 5th place there with 3/10 behind the leader. So the early concerns that we had about the BMW seem to be maybe a little bit unfounded.
Yeah, well, it's very much a case of the track evolution, as Andrew Hopley wallops the sausage curve on the right-hand side going through Roberts there on the first corner. So it's... Yeah, I mean, the thing is that we have said that as the BMW's improved, it's become a bit more of a dark horse, and less people, people actually have the opportunity to change. And I think I'm wondering whether some of those people have regretted that decision, because then you've got the likes of Scott Smith, you had the likes of Chris Knox, Mark Cuthbert, who have kept with it and decided to sort of tough it out, and they're treating it like as if they were in a works drive. Here we see Honor Horseman, and now this isn't the approach into Roberts. So he'll go in, and I
don't think it was that. It was supposed to have been Rory Bryant that we were looking at there, but it didn't quite happen. Never mind. Sorry about that. False alarm. Sorry, you were saying, Alex.
We have to blame we have to blame iRacing for that one.
Yes.
But I think it's, as I was saying, the BMW, I think, could really start coming alive in the latter rounds, where the BMW does also carry its momentum well through some of the corners. So, who knows? We've got 2 30-minute races, David. We're 8 minutes into qualifying now, 7 minutes to go on the clock. Jack Air goes P5 with a 1 minute 10.341. But I must be completely honest. I mean, Fraser Williamson, there is Jack Air on the screen at the minute in the number 13 from Rethink Racing. Fraser Williamson has gone a little bit quicker by about 39 thousandths of a second ahead of Lewis Ward as Rory Bryant goes into the pits. Gary Brown goes 14th. John Lang 13th from Missed Apex. Done 1 minute 11.538. So, we're seeing these drivers just really, really pushing. You can see where the rear tyres, if they're going a little bit wide, they're either kicking up the dirt or they're kicking up the sort of the grass. So as Jack Air now comes to the second part of Coppice and onto Starkey Straight, I'm just wondering if he's going to be able to put this lap together and see how he fares in the last 6 minutes of quali. But when you consider the fact that the top six are split by just 19 thousandths shy of 0.2 of a second at this particular moment, anything can happen. And in qualifying, it always seems to do so.
Yeah, as Jack Air 110.503. So let's do a quick roll call then for everybody that's tuned in to the stream tonight. Good evening to Mark Winus, to Ian Erasmus, who wants a big shout out, and lots of coverage for the Missed Apex team tonight. They're his favourite and have the best drivers. Now, isn't Ian Erasmus racing with us, or was he? He was racing with us, wasn't he? I do recognise that name.
Yes, in that, he's currently 28th in the standings. He took 14 points at round 1 for race 2, and then
we haven't seen him since.
Race 2, yeah. So we haven't seen him since. So he basically was with us until round 3, but whether he's been otherwise engaged, I'm not too sure. Your guess is as good as mine.
We will find out. Edward Porter, good evening. Good to see you back on the stream, and congratulations on getting your very first flat, buddy. Well done on that one. That's a big step. And Dave Ritson says, "Hello, Alex. See you tomorrow." So yes, you're getting a big shout out.
Yeah. He said he's actually WhatsApped me whilst we've been on air and saying, "I saw 7 people are watching," and I went, "Only on Facebook." Because we are broadcasting live and direct via the SMRC YouTube channel. So everyone watching there, good evening. Hope you're all keeping well and staying safe. Yeah, I'm going to be making my excuses after the racing because I have to get some shut-eye ahead of a very early start tomorrow morning. I'm flying into Europe again for the second week in succession. But yeah, more real-life karting circuit commentary at the Home of Champions for the Rotax Max Euro Trophy. 7 5-minute qualifying sessions, 34 races. And that's all going to be live streamed from tomorrow afternoon onwards on both Facebook and YouTube.
It's such a glamorous life we lead, isn't it?
Oh, isn't that further from the truth? And you know it.
Yeah, I know. It's really, really not. As we see Rory Bryant making his way through the Crater curves just now, just 3.5 minutes left to go in qualifying for tonight. I think the majority of drivers are happy with what they've done, and this has got to be one of the closest qualifying sessions I think we've had so far in this championship. To have 11 drivers within 1 second of your race leader. Sam Harper possibly just squeaking in there with a just over 1 second gap there. I mean, to the tail end, you've got, what's that? I'm just working out to the back of the grid there. That must be about 23 cars I think we've got within 2 seconds of your race leader.
Yeah, 22 cars, rounded out by Raymond Davies in the 28. Anil Singh is 2.5 seconds off of the pace. Vic Covey apparently hasn't set a lap time, whereas Rory Bryant is currently running P11 at the moment, 0.942 off of Fraser Williamson. But one of the things is that, Williamson, Ward, Gronkowski, Air, Butcher, Horseman, at the end of the day, that's pretty close. And Andrew Hopley being only just under 3.5 of a second off of pole position, that is an absolutely Herculean effort by Mr. Two Thumbs Fresh, as Adam Brown kicks up a lot of sand on the exit coming out of Roberts and going onto the main straightaway. You can just see how hard these guys and girls are pushing.
Yep, just watching things now. Let's go and have a look at what we've had happening during the qualification session then. We've had quite a few incidents, I think it's safe to say. We had Scott Smith just earlier on here in the BMW. It looks like he's just got 2 wheels onto the grass and decided to do a little bit of lawn mowing there. That's if that's the worst he has tonight, he's not going to be too bothered about that, is he?
I don't really think so, because now we have Anil Singh. Oh, loses the back end.
Oh, that is that's going to be the no claims bonus done then for that one.
I think it'd be like, how much is his invoice? That was through going towards the approach into and Michael Weddle straight lines it.
Yeah, he just decided not to bother doing it. I think that might have actually... No, that was in qualifying. And then Rory Bryant, let's see what he did. This was what I was trying to go to earlier when I went to Ronald Grossman. Let's go back. Oh, my goodness me. He's done
place.
exactly the same place as Anil Singh did there. So yeah,
that looks a bit more violent, unfortunately, and that was just on the inside of Craner Curves off of the old hairpin.
Even less of the car left.
How are the uprights on that one, Rory? Not very good, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so there we go. That is, I hate to say it, but I think that's qualifying done because there's nobody else on track. Yeah, it says that Cameron Ritchie is on track, but, well
he's actually off
sort
track.
of off track, yeah.
You said on track, and the minute I looked at the timing screen, it said off track. I went, oh, don't tell me he's gone rally crossing too.
But that's going to be it. In fact, that's coming down to Starkey Straight here, so down into the final chicane. So Cameron might get an extra lap here. In fact, he will. But it's whether or not he can actually take advantage of that. We'll stay with it since this is the only person on track now. Yeah, what a race we're in for here. This is going to be absolutely mega. 20 seconds left to go in qualifying. And there we go at Redgate. That's not how you want to do it.
That is, I've got an acronym now for whenever David curses somebody. No, it's commentator Christie's curse. Triple C. And now going through down towards the first part of Craners through Hollywood, he's taken more grass up. I mean, if this was real life, Jonathan Palmer would have thrown him a particularly big invoice. Yeah, so for cutting on the grass.
He's just seen his friends in the paddock there, and he thought he showed off to him. So, without further ado, let's...
With a little bit of flair, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Let's watch the cars make their way onto the grid, because this is how they are going to line up then for our qualifying. In fact, let me just go and do that. And the grids. There we are, that's better. Right, so pole position then for Fraser Williamson, Lewis Ward in second place, John Gronkowski in third alongside Jack Eyre, Peter Butcher in fifth with Ronald Grossman alongside, Andrew Hopley and Michael Weddle make up row 4, Martin Buchan and Peter Moore, and then it's Rory Bryant in P11 with Sam Harper in P12. I'll let you take the rest, Alex.
Okay, so in 13th position will be Adam Brown in the 16. Alongside will be the number 48 from Mist Apex Racing Team. In 14th position, John Lang. Then it's Scott Smith in the 101, Gary Brown in the 87. That's row 8. Rounding out the top 20, it's Kieran Smart in the 39, Jacqueline Chalmers in the 3, Sean Dobie in the 159, Cameron Ritchie in the 27. And rounding out the 24 strong will be Mark Cuthbert in the 2, Raymond Davies in the 28, Anil Singh in the 42. And last, but by certainly no means least, Mr. Vic Covey in the 7 on 24th position.
Whew, very good, very good. Right, there we go. The pace car is in. Remember, it is a very, very brief pace lap that they will get, and we are good to go then. So, what are we thinking is going to happen in this one, Alex?
Expect madness and mayhem. Those are my 2 words.
I like that.
Madness and mayhem. Especially towards possibly the back of the grid.
Well,
who knows?
Yep, they're coming down Starkey Straight just now. The pace car, that beautiful Porsche pace car, leads all of them off. It's Lewis Ward and Fraser Williamson side by side ahead of our fifth round of the championship. 2 races tonight, 2 30-minute races, and the lights are about to go on the starting bridge, and at which point Fraser Williamson can drop the hammer and it's all ablaze down to Redgate. Let's see what happens here, because the safety car pulls in, they bunch up, and the lights are about to come on. We're about to go racing here at Donington Park for the first time tonight. The lights are on, and away we go! Brilliant start there from Fraser Williamson, and Jordan Gronkowski gets to jump up into second place.
Jack Eyre up the inside too, so it looks like Lewis Ward is probably going to be, by my count, probably about third, or well, he's going to be 4th position, heading through Hollywood for the first time. Down the hill they go, down into the Craner Curves, instant back off track. Cameron Ritchie, Jacqueline Chalmers and Mark Cuthbert involved, but as you can see, they're absolutely pushing like crazy. Andrew Hopley down into 8th position, but Michael Weddle has absolutely, that Porsche seems like it's like a little cat that's got a rocket up its bottom, because he's now gone up into P6 already, and we haven't even gotten through into the old hairpin. But Fraser Williamson has got ahead of Jordan Gronkowski. Ronald Grossman is now behind Jack Eyre and Lewis Ward. Lewis Ward, who was alongside the 369 when we went green just under 60 seconds ago, as Hopley trying to force up the inside of Weddle. And this is for position P6. They're going to head down now, down the Starkey Straight, down towards Roberts. And if Hopley goes for the late break, He's going to try and do that. Weddle still is able to power ahead, but Hopley takes a little bit more curve going through the first part. He gets a real good run on Weddle there, coming out of the second half of the corner, and it's nearly side by side on the approach into Redgate as we're now on to lap number 2.
Yeah, here we go then, and it's disaster for Anil Singh at the back of the grid as we're watching the battle between Andrew Hopley and Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle trying to stick to that inside line, but it's going to be around the outside. Surely that's never going to work, but he's made it work. Andrew Hopley gets the move done by Craner Curves, and that is a fantastic job, and he's going to have to be careful now because Adam Brown and Martin Buchan is having a look at that. But let's have a look at what happened to Anil Singh then. He is at the back in the Porsche, and looks like that's Starkey straight on the run down towards the chicane. Has he just lost it by himself under braking? It's oh, there's other cars involved there, but does he get collected there? Yep, that's exactly.
Oh, that's Cameron Ritchie goes up the inside, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's
Cameron
what's
Ritchie went up
there.
the inside of Sean Dobie there, so not exactly what they wanted, but well.
Yeah, what do you say about Fraser Williamson? I mean, 1.7 seconds, we're already on to lap number 3. We've only done 2.5 minutes, and he is just looking so far in control. But look at John Gronkowski as well. Never would have called that for him getting into second place there. Fantastic work. Oh, we've got big drama going off with Kieran Smart as well. He's making his way down the order as well, and he's lost it on the exit of the final chicane there. Tries to reverse back onto track there. Very dangerous to get that done, and that is absolute disaster there for Kieran Smart. Let's have a look at what happened there. It was indeed just as he got out of the final chicane there. We'll try and get that replay for you, but he does get going again, so that is a huge drama for Kieran Smart there, all the way down into 22nd place there.
Yeah, Martin Buchan now up the inside of Michael Weddle, and that's now P9. So, well, that's changed quite a few things. So Martin Buchan is actually 3 places ahead of Michael Weddle in the championship standings, so this will help the number 35 no end whatsoever. Andrew Hopley still running in 7th position. There's Jack Eyre. He's trying to bring along Lewis Ward as they are going to try and hunt down Jordan Gronkowski in another fastest lap from Fraser Williamson, 1 minute 10.384 on what is now going to be lap number, he's completed lap number 3, as he's now going to go heading down through Hollywood and through into the Craner Curves. This is going to be quite interesting over the next few moments or so. I mean, even though we're 4 minutes out of this 30-minute race, still 26 to go, David. I think this race could still be anybody's, and we have seen it before where Fraser Williamson has ended up in dramas in previous races.
Yeah, we certainly have, and it's all about the tyre wear and the way that they're able to manage the cars. I also remember back markers. Lap traffic is going to play into things as well on this fast circuit. We're already seeing a spread of about 1 minute 27, 1 minute 48 for Peter Moore and Raymond Davies, who have gone a lap down, so that could very well play into to things very shortly, Alex.
Yes, indeed. Just really much a case of he's going to scarper away. Everyone else is going to have a bit more of an opportunity to try and keep going. So Gronkowski really could have the run on everybody here. But Lewis Ward puts in the fastest lap of the race. It's 1 minute 10.244. So that is over 1.4 tenths of a second quicker than the leader at the minute. So Lewis Ward looking to pick up the pace. Peter Butcher and Ronald Korsman also go in the 1 minute 10.4s. So it's still all to play for here, David, as Jack Eyre really coming up close and personal to Jordan Gronkowski. for second place. Looking
very, very menacing is Jack Eyre here. Let's have a look on board Jack Eyre then as we come up to the second half of the circuit. That's just through McLean's, and we're now on the run up the hill towards Coppice. And how menacing is that? How much pressure is he applying to Jordan Gronkowski? Jordan a little bit later on the brakes there and manages to get away. But again, it's not just Jack Eyre that's behind Jordan. It's Lewis Ward, it's Ronald Grossman, and even potentially Peter Butcher in that fight as well as they come down towards Robert Chicane for the fourth time. Some huge air there from Jordan Gronkowski. He just absolutely throws that car in and doesn't seem to pay any sort of price for that. So, you know, a very, very aggressive line. minutely faster for Jack Eyre, but the man to watch right now, pace-wise, is Ronald Grossman in 5th place.
Yeah, very much the case there, and it's not going to be easy. So we'll just find out how they proceed. Rory Bryant still sitting pretty in 11th position as John Lang from Missed Apex trying to close on the number 37. He's about 0.6 of a second behind, and if John Lang can keep the pressure on Rory Bryant, Bryant could be forced into a mistake that he won't want to make, and especially if they're starting to run wide through some of the corners as the tyres come through into temperature at the moment. Vic Covey has absolutely sprung up the order from last on the grid, 24th position. He's now chasing down Scott Smith in the 101 BMW for 13th place.
Yeah, brilliant fight going on here. Scott Smith just taking that place from Sam Harper. So Sam Harper dropping off the edge of a cliff down in towards 15, being mugged by both Scott Smith and by Vic Covey. Vic Covey does have the pace, but Scott has shown some real determination in that BMW right now. Just keeping an eye on your leaders as we see Lewis Ward going down into 5th place there. Ronald Grossman making the place stick up into 4th place there, and that was all on the final chicane. Just saw that out the corner of my eye. And look at that, Peter Butcher, fastest lap of the race, 1:10.174, and he's now on the back of that train as well.
Yeah, so Butcher's really getting the wriggle on. So it is all about who wants it the most. Who's going to be the one that's really going to be the driver that's going to push forward. And Butcher, you know, we've seen some great flashes from him in terms of performance, but he hasn't been able to have the opportunity to capitalise and move forward. But he could make a difference here, because when you look at it at the moment, in terms of the leaders of the championship, Lewis Ward down in 5th, Fraser Williamson's leading the race, and Jack Eyre is in 3rd position. So again, we'll have a pendulum swing. So I think what will happen effectively is that Fraser Williamson will retake the lead. Jack Eyre will probably get into 2nd position as a result, and then Lewis Ward will end up in 3rd place. So it's all a bit wide there from Ronald Grossman. So Lewis Ward now has a bit of daylight between himself and Jack Eyre. So very nicely done there by the number 98 in order to get past the number 90. But look who's just behind. We've got Peter Butcher. He's absolutely menacing. Is the Rethink Racing driver in 6th position. There's a bit more muck being brought up by one of the cars, probably either Jack Eyre or Lewis Ward just up ahead, but you can just see how hard Peter Butcher in the 82 is pushing.
Yeah, here we go then, as we have just over 21 minutes left to go in the first race of the evening. And what I've loved is the fact that it's been so, and I'm touching the desk right now as we speak, it's been so straightforward, and all that we've seen is just raw action on the track. It's just been outright pace, and some great laps being thrown in by all of the drivers across the board here tonight, Alex. Yeah,
I think everyone's just decided to up its game quite substantially, and that now has been shown through pretty much everybody throughout the field. Everyone's now deciding, right, championship is only, we're getting to the business end, we're in the second half of it. Obviously we had the last 2 rounds last time out, and that was a corker at Road Atlanta at Elkhart Lake, but now this is where the real hard work begins. You know, these drivers have been testing themselves and also testing themselves against each other, but now here is where the real hard work begins, because Williamson, Ward and Eyre, Horseman, Corson, Gronkowski, all of these drivers really now need to start putting it together. They need to put the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle in the right places to get everything sorted, ready for an onslaught on the title, because as I say, with the top 3, even if there is a mistake, and at the moment Fraser Williamson is not making one because he's 3 seconds ahead of everybody else, especially Jordan Gronkowski, things can shift, and shift very, very quickly indeed.
Yeah, the momentum is such an important factor in these 30-minute races, and it does affect your mental capacity going in towards a second race if you do make any mistakes in this first one. But up at the front then, it's Gronkowski in 2nd place ahead of Jack Eyre, and we're watching Lewis Ward just now trying to fend off the attacking Ronald Grossman. Ronald just pushing that car a little bit too far, you've got to think, because that's been twice now in the successive 2 laps that he has exceeded track limits, and he'll start getting warned warnings for that very, very shortly if he keeps on exceeding it. Meanwhile, side by side going into Redgate, that is Adam Brown round the outside of Andrew Hopley. Andrew Hopley surely has the grunt in that BMW to power the car down in towards the Craner curves. A little bit of dirt kicked up there from Andrew Hopley as he holds on to that 7th place, and that's a beautiful cutback on the inside there. What a move from Adam Brown, and again Hopley's going to try and power it round the inside of this left-hander. Through they go under Sarkey's Bridge, and then it's going to be coming up on the entry to McLean's here. That was a great move there from Andrew Hopley, and this is fantastic defensive driving and really showing what is going on here. Meanwhile, Peter Butcher and Ronald Grossman duking it out as well, and Ronald Grossman now going from bad to worse. He was up into 4th and he's all the way down into 6th place now. He is not happy at that, and Peter Butcher now is released to catch up. But look at Lewis Ward now right onto the back of that little train with John Gronkowski and Jack Eyre. So this is now a 3-car battle for 2nd place, Alex.
I just can't believe that. I mean, it's just absolute craziness that how this race, we are only 12 minutes in, and it is still, there's been a bit of an off-track moment for Anil Singh down at the back end of the field, but the amount of action, I did say there would be madness and mayhem, and I think we've had both. And here is Anil Singh. Oh, that's a bit wide. A little bit of grass being kicked up, and manages, I mean, that wasn't as significant as we possibly might have thought.
Worse to come. Well, from what it says anyway, it says that he crashed about 30 seconds later. So it could be on the exit of the corner here. No, it doesn't look too bad. He's fine, is he? Unless it's at the chicane. But we'll leave him be anyway. So he's recovered and got going again. But back up to your race leader now. That gap, Alex, has come down to 1.8 seconds.
Well, Gronkowski, he's just done a 1 minute 10.67. Fraser Williamson's just done a 1 minute 12.14.
Lap traffic, maybe?
Well, he's got Raymond Davies, who's just ahead, and he's actually last on the field. And that 718 Cayman looks a bit second hand at the front. I must be completely honest with you. So yeah, you can see that. Well, this time Williamson has responded and done a 1 minute 10.7, and Gronkowski a 1 minute 10.94. So Gronkowski now has to quickly get past Raymond Davies, and he does so heading into the old hairpin. And Jack Eyre trying to go up the inside of the 28, gets through, so does Lewis Ward. And now they're going to be absolutely swarming through. Peter Butcher and Ronald Grossman, they're battling over 5th place. So it all depends on how quickly Raymond Davies gets out of the way and whether Grossman can get his way past back on Peter Butcher.
Wow, thrilling stuff. And as you said, we're not even halfway through the session. Further down the order, we've got a massive battle going on between Mark Cuthbert. Oh, and just as I say, that Mark Cuthbert just recovers back onto the track there. He was in 18th place. He's lost that place now to Sean Dobie. Scott Smith is losing positions hand over fist as well now. Vic Covey and him fighting out for that 13th place right now. And just behind him is going to be Sam Harper. So it really is dogfights left, right and centre through this race. And back with your 2nd, 3rd and 4th place there. And that was a big bit of curve there for Jack Eyre, and I think that's compromised his run down through Hollywood and in towards the Craner curves. He takes a little bit of grass and dirt up on that inside line, and you're fine to do that, but if you take too much, it'll over-rotate the car and completely make it unstable. Lewis Ward, I think, here just biding his time.
Yeah, I think you're very right there. And so it is a case of just making sure that you strike whilst the iron's hot, as Vic Covey gets past Scott Smith now. Rory Bryant gets past John Lang, and they're swapping positions like a good one. They are side by side. So Rory Bryant powering around the outside through into the inside for the next corner on John Lang. But as they head up to Schwanz Curve, Lang was looking towards...
Sorry, Alex, just to jump in, there's been a change for 3rd place. Lewis Ward has taken over from Jack Eyre. We didn't see the move there, but we can perhaps have another look here. They're side by side, and it's just a case of outbreaking him on the entrance. I think that's Coppice, it is. So a brilliant move there for Lewis Ward.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Past the driver who was coming into this round in effectively third place. So Lewis Ward doing the business, and he's closing on Jordan Gronkowski. And if he gets past Gronkowski, I think Lewis Ward, if he's running at the pace that he's got at the moment, he's done a 1 minute 10.93. Fraser Williamson is about 2 or so tenths quicker. But if he but that depends on whether Jack Eyre has anything to say about it. Is they going to head up to through Starkey's Bridge up to Schwanz Curve, and Eyre gets ahead for the moment, round to the outside through McLean's. Ward back up the inside. Now they head to the double right at Coppice. And again, this is a cat and mouse game. These two are effectively battling between themselves, and neither is giving quarter. But what that is allowing is that Fraser Williamson is allowed to get away from this all.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, he's 2.8 seconds up the road, so that was the gap that he had before. He was actually a little bit more than that. But what I can't believe is that these two are still duking it out and still catching Jordan Gronkowski hand over fist. Jordan Gronkowski's last time over the line there, let's see it just come up, 111.030. So they were actually a little bit slower, but they do seem to catch him up very, very quickly off of that final chicane. Vic Covey has had a bit of a moment. Let's see what's happened to him. Fighting with Scott Smith, just goes too deep into the corner, outbreaks himself and struggles to get that Porsche back out on track. So no real harm done for that Porsche, but that drops him down 2 places at the moment. Jordan Gronkowski still in second place, and it feels like there's a bit of a breather right now, a little bit of tension being relieved at the midpoint in this race, Alex.
I mean, especially for Fraser Williamson, because he's probably seeing all of this going on, because he'll have the indicators of how fast these drivers are going, how much difference there is between him and them in terms of pure lap pace, and he'll be the one to like grinning like the proverbial Cheshire cat. So he's got an opportunity to sort of run away with it and get a maximum points haul. Let's not forget he's already got pole position, which nets him 5 points. So just by that alone, you know, that means that he goes level on 212 points with Lewis Ward, and we haven't even got to finish the end of we haven't even got to the end of the race, and we've still got another 12 minutes to go. As Hopley swarming all over the back bumper of Adam Brown, going through Redgate and then through into Hollywood. So effectively now, Fraser Williamson will take the lead in the standings if things stay the way that they are going into race 2 later on.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. 11 minutes left to go in the session, and I think Jordan Gronkowski is just starting to eke a little bit of a gap. It is coming down. We'll have a look at him in just a second, but at the moment we've got our eyes locked to this battle between 7th and 8th place. That's Adam Brown against Andrew Hopley. Andrew doing a cracking job on the run up to Coppice here, just hounding and harassing Adam Brown for that 7th place. I think he's maybe overdone it there and drops a little bit back, so that gives us the time to have a look at your second place man, John Gronkowski. As we can see, sneaking in towards the picture there is Lewis Ward in that 3rd place. We've got back markers galore coming through the picture now, and this is developing into a cracking little battle. Jack here just on the periphery of our vision there, down in 4th place. They come into Redgate, and 10 minutes left to go, and Jordan now is going to have to absolutely defend for his life.
Yeah, and defend for the next 10 or so minutes, because this is where it's going to get interesting. You know, the pair of them, you know, Lewis Ward is swarming all over the back bumper of the 33 of Gronkowski as we go on board with Lewis Ward from Meraki Racing, teammate to Andrew Hopley, who is still the leading BMW M4 GT4 in the field, up in 8th position. And you can see that Lewis Ward, looking towards the inside of Coppice, goes through the first part of it, now into as a little bit of a run wide there from Gronkowski. Ward seizes the opening. Oh, that was very close. If he'd gotten a better run coming out of the first part of Coppice, he would have been up the inside and probably gone back. He's done the old Nigel Mansell dummy, has the number 98, but it hasn't worked on this occasion. Jack Eyre closes up in the braking zone, through into Roberts. Line astern between 2nd and 4th as they go down the Wheatcroft Straight, heading down towards Redgate. And Ward, I think he was just sizing up Gronkowski through Coppice that time around. The next time they come through, I think he might have an opportunity of slingshotting past.
Oh my goodness me, this is building up to a wonderful, wonderful crescendo. I'm still keeping an eye on the battle between Adam Brown and Andrew Hopley. They're side by side going into turn 1, but we're still locked on this battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the moment, because Jack Eyre is Lewis Ward is in an unenviable position right now. Does he pass through and go past there? That was Anil Singh that we briefly caught a glimpse of facing the wrong way on the grass there. But does Lewis Ward push for that 2nd place, knowing that he's got Jack Eyre behind him and poised to try and take that position? But a wonderful run, and it's going to be a move. Jinx out to the outside of Coppice, thinks better of it, tucks back into the slipstream of John Gronkowski. He's going to make Jordan do all the work right now, and Fraser Williamson just streaking off into the sunset. That gap now 3.8 seconds, and I don't think it's going to be this lap round for Lewis Ward. Jack Eyre is going to be brought back into this mix once more.
Yeah. So
what a run actually from Jack Eyre on the exit of the chicane there. He took about 15 miles an hour more into that corner from Jack Eyre. They're side by side going into Redgate, and that's going to hand the advantage to Lewis Ward, because he's going to try and get the drive out, but it's going to mean that it's into Craner Curves in the lead for Jack Eyre potentially. They're side by side again down through Craner Curves, and that is going to hand that 3rd place to Jack Eyre. Lewis Ward gets put down into 4th place there, but my goodness me, what a move. And he's coming back at him round the outside underneath Starkey's bridge. That is surely never going to work on the outside to McLean's. That is impossible. How has Lewis Ward just done that?
Beats me. I'm stumped. I'm absolutely stumped after that.
Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just, he kept the foot in around the outside at Starkey's Bridge on the run up to McLean's, and he had to move done before he even got there.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just been really interesting to see the dynamic of how these drivers have just been pushing so hard, and Jack Eyre nearly loses the back end. And look at Peter Butcher. He's absolutely flying. And what's more, he's about to get up close and personal with his Rethink Racing teammate. And one of the biggest rules is don't take out your teammate. So he's got to watch it as Jack Eyre gets very, very squirrely at the tail end, going through Hollywood, down into the Craners. But Peter Butcher, I think, has been the dark horse of this top 6. He's really, really been pushing hard. He's pushed his way through the field, and he's made some great overtakes in the process. So now he has the opportunity to be the cat amongst the proverbial championship protagonist leader, pigeons, if you will.
I like that. We'll use that quite a lot, actually, that analogy. That was really like that, Alex. So John Gronkowski and Lewis Ward are the championship pigeons, and Peter Butcher is away to set a foot amongst them. Meanwhile, we've got drama as Martin Buchan and Adam Brown and Sean Doby have all crashed. Let's have a look at what's happened here, as we see that's on the run up towards McLean's. And and it's under braking. He's collected by Adam Brown. Martin Buchan goes round, and I think that was just Sean Doby trying to get through there. Wow, that is not what you want to see. So Martin Buchan gets round, loses a couple of places there, but that could have been so much worse there.
Very, very true. But Martin Buchan, we know the steely resolve of this particular individual, and we know that he will keep on fighting right up until the bitter end. So, okay, there's just under 6 minutes to go of this race, but Buchan could still have an opportunity. I mean, he's, 1.3 seconds behind Adam Brown. So there's still a chance for him to make up some inroads here. Yeah,
it certainly is. Meanwhile, I just cannot get over this group of 3 cars. Lewis Ward, Jack Eyre and Peter Butcher. Look at how quickly they catch on to the back of Jordan Gronkowski. Jordan's last lap time round there was a 1:11.12. The 3 of them, the 3 cars behind him, 1:10.8, 1:10.8, 1:10.7. I mean, the pace that these 3 are showing while they're fighting it out with each other is just sensational.
It's ridiculous, David. That's what it is. It is just absolutely ridiculous about how they are able to keep up this Herculean pace all the way through so far, and they are not giving up. It is completely one of those things where you just think, how are they doing this? How are they pushing so hard?
They've went even faster that last lap round. So your race leader Fraser Williamson just controlling the pace, 1:11.06. John Gronkowski second place, 1:11.13, and then Lewis Ward, Jack Hare and Peter Butcher 1:10.7, 1:10.7, 1:10.9. So the three cars are faster, as we see a little flash of lights there from Lewis Ward to one of the backmarker cars. We've only got 4.5 minutes left to go. This could be epic, epic stuff.
Very, very true. Very, very true indeed. So I think we could have as you said, I think we're going to have a mega end of this race. As here is Rory. Well, we've just seen Rory. That's Adam Brown there.
Oh, a big moment coming down the Craner curves there. Fires it back onto the track there, thankfully not collecting anyone on the way around there. So, wow, 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 wow. And we cut back, and look at that. Lewis Ward is now right on the back bumper of Jordan Gronkowski. So this is getting very, very close yet again.
Yeah, it's been nip and tuck between all of these people so far, and I really can't sort of make any sort of judgment onto how so many of these drivers are just pushing like crazy. They're not giving up, they're not giving any quarter, and then all of a sudden it's just as now Lewis Ward sizing up Jordan Gronkowski. This is the battle for second position as they're going up through towards McLean's. Gronkowski takes a tighter line. Ward gets a really good run out of the corner. They're going to head up. So they'll be shifting up a gear, down a gear, into the braking zone, into the first part of Coppice. As Lewis Ward trying to go around the outside, that is crazy if you can try and do that, but he won't get through the second part of Coppice. No way in hell will that happen, as they now make their way down towards Roberts. So into the right, into the left. And yeah, wow. Just absolutely breathtaking action all the way through. Awesome. And the Horned Horseman is being absolutely dropped by this quartet who are battling over the runner-up spot in this race with just 2.5 minutes to go.
I'm absolutely speechless at what we're seeing here out on track. This is just an epic, epic battle to finish off the race. Obviously, we'll try and keep an eye through the rest of the field, but this is by far the closest action that we've got out on track at the moment. A 4-car battle for second place, so you'll forgive us for keeping our attention on this because it could change at any moment. Jordan Gronkowski, though, we have to take our hats off to him. What an exemplary defensive drive he's done. He's just put the car where it needed to be to keep these drivers at bay.
Yeah, I don't know how he's hung on for so long. It's just been absolutely mental, just how things are really, really coming along and what they're now having to do. So I think Lewis Ward, if he gets an opportunity, he'll get past Jordan Gronkowski. Watch out for now Jack Hare and Peter Butcher, because again, they come through Roberts this time around. Lewis Ward not close enough. And now they've got Scott Smith just up ahead in the 101. And this is where things might get interesting, because the backmarker traffic could make all of the difference on how this battle for second place will end up.
We say backmarker traffic, but that's 13th place. That just shows what an incredible pace this race has had so far.
I mean, that's why I didn't even go as far as to say 13th, because I just thought, hang on. As now, the Lewis Ward's flashing the headlights now at Jordan Gronkowski as if to say, come on, man, get past him, get on with it. We need to battle for second place. And here goes Gronkowski. Ward's going to slingshot up the inside. He's going to make it nearly... Oh, that was close, heading up into Coppice. But managing not to... He wasn't able to take the opportunity there. Was Lewis Ward, and now Jack Hare and Peter Butcher will get past. But I cannot believe this. And Fraser Williamson in the meantime. Oh no! Now that was Butcher going towards Jack Hare there for P4. Now has there been... Oh, there's been drama between the... So Butcher went in too hot and turned around Jack Hare. Let's have a look at the replay here. Right, they've gone into Roberts. Oh, he's just absolutely... Oh, that was...
And that looks like suspension damage for the back of Jack Hare's car there.
Yeah, right rear was completely compromised there because the wheel started going up and down as a direct result. Oh my goodness me.
Well, he's maybe not. Maybe just a trick of the old iRacing spectator there, because he does look like he's back on it and the car looks absolutely fine. So hopefully that's it. But yeah, big drama there. And one man breathing a sigh of relief right now is Jordan Gronkowski, because that's two cars less that he's got to contend with on this final lap here.
Yeah. So Fraser Williamson has just knocked it out of the park, and he's just a few moments away, just flashing the lights to ask the back marker traffic, which looks to be Martin Buchan, I believe. They're up in 9th place. Through the final couple of corners, through Roberts comes Fraser Williamson. He will get the checkered flag. What a dominant display by the 369. And then second place for Jordan Gronkowski, who edges out Lewis Ward by just 0.087 of a second. And that has pretty much meant that Fraser Williamson goes on to, I think, effectively 200. It's 25 points for a win, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So it puts him on 237 at the lead of the standings.
Wow, what a race. What an absolute stormer of a race. Let's have a look at that last lap incident, or rather the penultimate lap incident between Peter Butcher then and... we'll go on board actually from that, because that's exactly what's happened here, is that he's outbraked in towards that final chicane there, and just went straight into the back of Jack Hare there. That's so unfortunate for the two of them there. You see the contact, and both of them being spun round. And I don't think he was ever meaning to make the move, but I think he just got caught off guard with how late Scott Smith brakes there. And yeah, that'll, I'm sure, be sent to the stewards after that one. So confirmation then of your results as the cars are away to make their way in. And here is what we had then. In first place is Fraser Williamson, taking the 35 points there. Jordan Gronkowski in second place. Lewis Ward in third. Ronald Grossman in fourth place. Jack Hare with Peter Butcher fifth and sixth place. Andrew Hopley and Michael Weddle seventh and eighth, with Martin Buchan and Rory Bryant in P10. John Lang took P11, just ahead of Adam Brown, who was just ahead of Scott Smith. Had a cracking battle there for 12th and 13th place. Scott Smith finished in 13th. Sam Harper in 14th. Gary Brown in 15th. Vic Covey, who had a bit of a non-eventful race, really. He was quite heading towards the back of the field there. Kieran Smart in 17th place. Mark Cuthbert in 18th. Jacqueline Chalmers in 19th. Sean Dobie in 20th place. Peter Moore in 21st. Cameron Ritchie in 22nd. Then it's Raymond Davies, Anil Singh. And that is your 24 car finisher. So, Alex, wow, where do we even begin with that one? In fact, hold that thought. I'm going to give us both a chance to get a glass of water. We're going to take a very, very short break, and we'll be back after warm-up for the next race. A very warm welcome then back to Donington Park, the virtual recreation for round 5 of the SMRC eSports Racing iRacing Championship. David Christie and Alex Goldschmidt with you tonight, bringing you all the live coverage from both of the races tonight. And what a fantastic race we've had there. And yeah, really looking forward to race number 2. A wonderful win there for Fraser Williamson. Will we see him being able to streak away there? And some high drama towards the end of that race. And yeah, it's been a really good race, and really looking forward to getting back on track to the second one there. And if my ears don't deceive me, I can hear the subtle chair squeak, which means that Alex Goldschmidt is back with us.
That's the problem with having a leather office chair, mate. Sorry about that.
That's all good. It's all good. So we've got 2 minutes left to go before we start our second race of the evening, Alex. And I don't know about you, but where do we even begin with that last race?
Bring on race 2. That's all I'm saying. I've done a lot of commentary over the past couple of weeks, working with yourself, obviously, on the other championship that we'll be doing tomorrow night, the Team Brit GT3 Challenge and Cinetic BMW Series. But yeah, it's been quite a busy time. I think I've lost count of the amount of races that I've actually commentated on. So every bit of action where you are captivated all the way through the race, it's been it's been rather interesting, let's say. And that was I think that hand on heart for closeness of close quarter battles. Mm-hmm. I think, if I'm honest, that is one of, if not the best races of the season that we have had so far.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. There was so much going on throughout the different parts of the race there, and so much drama and intrigue. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing what happens here in this second race of the night. And of course, we're coming down to the business end of the championship, Alex, and you know, Fraser Williamson, who is going to be able to get onto him?
I don't know. I really do not know. So your guess is as good as mine. It's just, yes. I just want to see how things pan out. I can't really sort of say any play other than that, to be fair.
Yep, no, that's absolutely fair enough. So here we go then. We are ready to go for the next race, and I think we've got, if I've done this properly, we should have some provisional results now. I bear in mind I don't think they take into account the qualifying, so we'll get that on the go. But if we have a look here, and I'll take this off and put us on as well. I think is that it doesn't look right, does it? 200? No, that is 247 points for Williamson, 238 for Lewis Ward. That ties up with what I'm seeing.
It's 35 points. That's where I got it wrong. Yeah. My apologies there. And 35 points. So
229 for Jack Hare. So that ties up with what Dominic Engel is saying in chat. So we'll take that with a pinch of salt. We'll call these provisional results so far. But there we go. Right, we are ready to go racing. Ladies and gentlemen, are you excited? Because I know I am. Let's have a very quick run through of the grids for this race then. We'll start with the top 12. Gary Brown alongside Sam Harper. Scott Smith on third place alongside Adam Brown. John Lang in P5 with Rory Bryant P6. P7 is Martin Buchan. Michael Weddle in P8. Andrew Hopley in P9. Peter Butcher in P10 with Jack Hare and Roland Grossman P11 and P12.
David.
Yes.
I'm going to need to make a quick phone call, mate. Apologies for this.
Not a problem, buddy.
But I will be right back.
No problem, buddy. Right, 13th place is Lewis Ward. 14th place, John Gronkowski. 15th place, a Race 1 winner, Fraser Williamson. And then it's Vic Covey in 16th place. Kieran Smart in 17th. Mark Cuthbert in 18th. Jacqueline Chalmers in 19th. Sean Dobie in 20th. P21 is Peter Moore. P22, Cameron Ritchie. And then Raymond Davis and Anil Singh at the back of the grid. So that is how they line up for this second race of the evening. And I don't know about you guys, but I am very excited. The pace car is ready. Gary Brown is going to lead them around with Sam Harper. And yeah, here we go then. So the car's just making their way around. This will be down the final straight.
David, just
yes.
before, I just wanted to say, look, I'm going to have to skedaddle early. I've got a few things that I do need to sort out. So I will catch up with you in due course. But a bit impromptu, I know, but I'd rather let you know now than
not a problem. Not a problem, Alex.
Everybody at home, thank you very much for having me on board once again, David, and I will catch up with you tomorrow evening as planned, my good man. So enjoy the rest of the action, everyone. I will catch up with it, so at least I'm fully up to speed in 2 weeks' time.
Excellent, good stuff. Thank you very much then. Alex Goldschmidt leaving us early to get his stuff sorted for the weekend, and the lights are on, and it is an absolute melee of a start here at Donington Park for race number 2, and away goes Gary Brown, still into the lead. They're on the way, run down into turn 1 into Redgate, and that's onto the grass. That's Vic Covey, isn't it? It's, oh my goodness me, and there's carnage into race number 2, and it's all gone horribly wrong. There's a car facing backwards there, and that's Fraser Williamson. Fraser Williamson is facing the back of the grid there, and that is absolutely horrendous stuff there. There's more carnage going on as Vic Covey is punted off to the moon. I think that was Rory Bryant that was involved there in that one as well. So, wow, what on earth has just happened there? It's all gone hideously wrong for a lot of drivers there. And, well, I hope you had your popcorn ready, guys, because that was, yeah, that kind of all just happened, really. 30 minutes of this. It's going to be a long night, but that has absolutely thrown everything up into the air. And wow, race control are going to be very busy there. Let's have a look at what on earth went wrong on that start there. Peter Moore, I think it was, that got sent hurtling into the crowd. The accidents had already started happening, and I'm just trying to see there, yeah, cars had already crashed off. Fraser Williamson had crashed. He got sent round. I'm just trying to see who was the first man to get sent off track. Was it yeah, Ronald Grossman getting involved there, coming back on track, and yeah, it was just an absolute melee. So let's see, actually I think it was let's see, Rory Bryant here. Yeah, so Rory Bryant gets tagged there. Let's have a look here. So Rory actually gets tagged there from the car behind him, and gets sent off into the grass, and it's all hell breaks loose after that one. So yeah, lots and lots to pick up out of that one. In fact, Rory Bryant into the pits there just now. And we're back live, finally, 2 minutes 15 into the race. So it's still John Lang, an unlikely race leader at the moment, ahead of Adam Brown and Lewis Ward. Well, that is, yeah. Fraser Williamson as well has had a horrific start for that. He's still desperately trying to get back. He's down in 20th place right now. But let's have a look at what happened with him. Oh, that's down Craner cars, and the cars just lost control into the grass, into the gravel. Thankfully, oh, there's a huge bit of damage to the back end of it, and this has been a nightmare race for Fraser Williamson. Martin Buchan was up in P10. He loses it on the exit of the chicane there. Thankfully, there's nothing too bad that actually happens there. Right, Adam Brown, we need to calm ourselves down, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't want to peak too early, 3 minutes into a 30-minute feature race here, but I think that's exactly what is going to happen here. And just saying, Peter Butcher has gone all the way down there to 14th place. He was up into 6th at one point, but obviously goes very wide there. Let's have a look at what happened there. Again, Craner Curves claims another victim. He's onto the anchors, but thankfully not with the same angle, and just narrowly avoids the barriers there. So he comes back on. Lewis Ward has a bit of a moment as well on the entrance to Coppice, side by side with another car there. I think that was Jack Eyre, or was that Cameron Ritchie that he was involved with there. So again, just manages to get going again, but it's all gone even further wrong as Cameron Ritchie has a moment on the entry to the chicane here, and crashes the car under braking. It looks like, yep, two wheels on the grass, and that is never going to work. Manages to get going again, but wow. Cameron Ritchie then drops all the way back down, and let's go back on board with your race leader. 4 minutes gone. How have we managed to fit this much action into to 4 minutes? Edward, it's been a really good week. I'm glad it's been a quiet week because we've filled up for that tonight with all the action and drama that is going on in this race right now. Adam Brown still in the lead from John Lang, and then Michael Weddle up into third place there. He's looking very racy tonight and could be off. Oh, and Vic Covey has a monstrous moment there. Let's have a look at what's happened here. He puts two wheels on the grass, and that is on the run up to Coppice, I think it is. It's just after McLean's, and he tries to get the car going again and hits the barrier. A little nudge there, so very, very unusual accident there for Vic Covey. Drops all the way down, and in fact he's into pit lane there. So yeah, that has been a disaster for Vic Covey. Lewis Ward will take that place as well. But my goodness me, what on earth do we say to the start of that race? It has just been... I'm kind of scared to go into to Discord in case I say what is some choice words I can imagine being said to that. So 5.5 minutes into race number 2, and it's not been the best. Where we had an amazing race number 1, it kind of all went downhill with that start, with Rory Bryant being fired off into the pack as they went into turn number 1, and I think we've only got 19 cars. In fact, we've got 18 cars left in this race. Vic Covey is out, Fraser Williamson is out, so your championship leader will not score any points. So that is a huge blow to his championship hopes right now. Peter Moore is out of the race, is he? No, he's not. We'll see about that. Rory Bryant and Mark Cuthbert is out as well. So, there we go. Adam Brown looking very comfortable in that lead there. Oh, a little bit wide out of Redgate and getting two wheels onto the grass. You don't want to see that from... Is that... I think that's one of the Rethink Racing cars it is. He's really pushing that car, and I think he's maybe pushing it a little bit harder than he actually needs to right now, because he's in the lead and he's got a 2-second gap over John Lang and Michael Weddle. And Michael Weddle just jumps ahead as John Lang goes very, very wide. And I think John Lang is actually still just languishing back in that 5th place there. So he managed to get back on, but it was down at the bottom of the Craner curves there. And look at John Gronkowski having a look up the inside as well here. Both of those cars around Coppice, and 7 minutes gone so far. And it's been a very, very fractured race now because the cars are essentially all over the place. There's a massive gap all around the track, and John Gronkowski thinks better of the move on Michael Weddle for that 2nd place. And that gap to the leader now of Adam Brown, just 3 seconds, and starting to come down a little bit right now. And I wonder if since Michael Weddle's been released from that pack, he was down in 5th place at one point there, released from that pack, and he's managed to get back out there. So John Lang into pit lane there. I wonder if he's got damage there. Oh no, he's had a big moment. No, he spun it into the pit lane. That is the most impressive entrance into pit lane you are ever going to see, ladies and gentlemen. You hate to see it. You really hate to see it. That gap is now coming down from Michael Weddle to the race leader. It's now just 2.6 seconds, so it's... And that's only in 3, 4, 5 corners that Michael has got that pace. But look at that train you've got. Let's go on board with Ronald Grossman right now. What an impressive sight that is. Just Ronald sticking into the slipstream of the 2 cars in front of him. Ahead is John Gronkowski and Michael Weddle. And the only real action that we've got through the track as well is Kieran Smart and Peter Butcher now. This is a nice little battle going on for 9th and 10th place. And behind them, you've got another little battle as we see Gary Brown just ahead of Sam Harper and Scott Smith trying to do a recovery drive as well there. So they're fighting out for 13th, 14th and 15th position. You then got Cameron Ritchie just holding on to John Lang just behind him for 16th and 17th place. But that 3-car train is now desperately catching on to the back of Adam Brown here. 2.5 seconds now, 2.3 seconds. And it was a 3-car train. It's now a 2-car train because Lewis Ward has dropped off of it and is just ahead of Andrew Hopley in the BMW there. So I'm wondering what on earth has happened there. to drop him all the way back there. John Lang going off track as well. And the darkness starting to fall at some parts of the circuit here at Donington. Michael Whittle under all sorts of pressure. Look at that. That's going to be John Gronkowski moving to the left-hand side. They're side by side on the entrance. Oh, what a move by John Gronkowski. Can he get that car stopped in time? He can. And Michael Whittle's going to have the cutback there on the exit of the chicane. They're almost 3 abreast on the start-finish straight there. But John Gronkowski somehow holds on to that position and takes second place from Michael Whittle, who is now mugged down into 4th place behind Ronald Grossman. Ten minutes gone in the final race of the evening for the SMRC iRacing eSports Championship, and Ronald Grossman just behind John Gronkowski fancies a little bit of the action here just now. We'll go on board with Ronald Grossman. Let's go on for a lap with Ronald Grossman then. So we come through the Wheatcroft Straight then, start finish straight here at Donington. It's the run down towards turn 1, and the braking marker is going to be around about the exit of the pit lane there, and a nice early entrance for Ronald Grossman. Gets a little bit more corner, but Jordan gets the better exit there as they go through turn 1, which is Redgate. It's then through Hollywood as the car sweeps down towards the Craner curves here at right and then a left, and the car gets unbalanced very, very quickly indeed. And then through the old hairpin there, and then it's underneath Starkey's bridge, and then it's onto the Schwanz curve. It's a short uphill section here towards McLean's and a tight right-hander, and then the cars accelerate away again up the hill, still uphill towards Coppice. A double right-hander here. You want to get a really, really good exit out of this corner because it's on to Starkey Straight after this corner here. Both cars looking very, very solid and planted. These Porsches really getting the most out of this England circuit. Then it's on the brakes in towards Roberts chicane, and then again on the power as early as you dare with these Porsche GT4 cars, and across the start finish line, and you see the cars just going across there. So fantastic racing. We're coming up to the halfway point already in the race, and my goodness me, what a race we've had so far. So it looks like we've got one almighty battle going on right now for 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th place there. So that is Raymond Davies, Sean Dobie, Sam Harper and Scott Smith as well, all fighting it out for that position. So, you know, it's not outside the realms of possibility that we could see Scott Smith getting into the top 10 here. It's about 6 seconds away, but the gap between Peter Butcher and Jack Hare is kind of staying quite similar. Let's have a look here as Jack Hare gets passed by Peter Butcher there for 8th and 9th place. So Jack Hare dropping back a little bit. And just behind him is Kieran Smart. So Kieran Smart dropping down a little bit as well there. Meanwhile, your race for the 11th place now. Look at that. It's now developing a proper little battle here as we see Sean Dobie up the inside there. And they're dropping further back from Kieran Smart there. So it's Sean Dobie in 11th place, Raymond Davies in 12th, and then Scott Smith and Sam Harper in 13th and 14th position. Now, the battle for 2nd and 3rd place is lighting up again. Look at that. John Gronkowski just ahead of Ronald Grossman there. And you've got to say that Grossman is driving a very, very controlled race right now. He's very calm, very collected, and making it look very, very straightforward right now. So, yeah. Fraser Williamson asking if there's any rules against starting in pit lane in race 2. I can see why you're asking that, and yeah, not the best, mate. But thank you very much for making the first race so entertaining. And Raymond Davis has a moment. He goes off track and crashes, and that was in the battle for 11th, 12th and 13th place there. And what has happened here, it's on the entrance to the old hairpin here, isn't it? He's put 2 wheels on the grass, he's spun, and he's just collected Scott Smith there, and Scott Smith onto the grass as well. So yeah, you hate to see it, but Scott Smith gets back onto the track, and he's still down in 13th place there. So yeah, it's cost him, but it's not going to have cost him too dearly. Adam Brown now, the gap just 2.6 seconds ahead of John Gronkowski. So these two would do very well to work together right now and to catch up onto that leader and then do their fighting, because they've dropped Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle now 1.9 seconds behind in that battle for 3rd place. And there's so many different stories that are going on, as we see Jack Hare going off track here, excuse me. Oh, and again, that's another one has been claimed at the Craner Curves. Exactly the same thing that we've seen. 3 different cars that have been involved in that. And yeah, that is the horrible, horrible corner. And this is what I was saying about these Porsches. The weight on the car, when you're going down that hill, you're turning the corner, the car's going down, so it's unsettled. It is so easy for it to over-rotate, for you to lose control, and it's just game over. Now, there we go. Adam Brown has a big moment on the exit of Redgate there on turn 1, and that has brought the gap now down to 1.5 seconds, so the pressure is going to start building. Look at the way that car is starting to slide all around, and I wonder if Adam Brown has used up all of the lives on his tyre right now, because these Porsches do eat up through the tyre, especially if they are put under pressure, and that is what he is doing right now. John Gronkowski is going to twist the screw just a little bit more, and this is what I was saying about Ronald Grossman, about him just sitting there very patiently, very calculating, and letting Jordan do all the hard work, and he's going to pounce, mark my words, towards the end of the 10 minutes left to go here. In fact, make that 13 minutes just left to go. Adam Brown under real pressure. Let's have a look actually on board with Ronald Grossman here. Car down onto the brakes, in towards the chicane, and John Gronkowski always seems to take a massive amount of curb in towards that final chicane, and it doesn't ever seem to cost him that much. So yeah, he's quite happy with that, and that's 9/10 of a second that they've taken out your race leader on that last lap there, and they're now within touching distance. John Gronkowski can see your race leader just in front of him just now. 1.3 seconds is the gap, and your race leader starting to come across some back markers as well there. I think that might be Cameron Ritchie that he's coming across. It is Cameron Ritchie, looking slightly worse for wear. Oh my goodness me, your race leader's lost it on the exit of the old chicane, on the old hairpin there. Adam Brown caught out under braking, and that hands the race lead to Jordan Gronkowski. A huge moment there. He stays on for 3rd place there. And is this sign now for Ronald Grossman? Does that mean that he's going to make the move round Coppice, or is he going to just wait a little bit longer? Don't be surprised if you see a Ronald Grossman pull the trigger. Here we go then, down in towards Roberts Chicane for the, well, that must be about lap 8 that we're on now. And what a race we have had so far. Who knows how this is going to pan out, as we see Adam Brown flashing the lights to, that is Cameron Ritchie, to make sure it gets out of the way, and Michael Weddle getting caught up in that as well. This is a thrilling climax to the race. We've got 10.5 minutes left to go in this race, and Ronald Grossman now 0.3 of a second behind your race leader John Gronkowski. I think this is his best ever position in the championship so far, so a wonderful position to be in for John Gronkowski. Further back in the field, Jacqueline Chalmers just ahead of Gary Brown for 15th place there, and all of the other cars are fairly spread out right now. Back to your race leader though, and look at the pressure that's having to be absorbed by Jordan Gronkowski. This is what he had to do in race number 1. He's having to do it again in race number 2 as he fends off Ronald Grossman. They come out onto Starkey Straight here. The gap now 2 seconds between Gronkowski and Adam Brown. Scott Smith has had a bit of a moment. Goes very, very wide there, but managed to live and tell the tale another day. So much more speed taken in from Ronald Grossman, and we have got just over 10 minutes left to go in this final race. Ronald Grossman is the faster of these 2 cars, but it's whether or not he can get past John Gronkowski. That is going to be the big matter here. It's not going to be down in towards Cleaner Curves, and Adam Brown again goes wide at Redgate. That's the second time we've seen that happen, and that drops him right back into the clutches of Michael Weddle, although Michael is now 2.81 seconds behind Adam Brown, so Michael having his own problems there. But back with your race leaders. Fantastic battle we've got going on. We'll try and keep an eye on through the rest of the pack as well, because I can see that Sean Dobie just half a second make that ahead of John Lang in that battle for 11th and 12th place there. John Lang closing up very, very quickly, but the gaps are all spread out very, very evenly indeed. We're talking at least 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds between all of the cars right now, apart from this battle here, as we see John Lang try to go up the inside of the Craner Curves. He's made it stick. What a move, and Sean Dobie just doesn't have any pace at all to defend to that. Meanwhile, back to your race leader. Look at this. This is the run down towards turn 1, and that's going to be John Gronkowski on the inside towards Redgate. Ronald Grossman's going to be severely compromised there. Beautiful move there from Jordan Gronkowski. So let's have a look then. Alan Luth. Yep, absolutely. Scott did have a great start, and it was very, very unfortunate they got taken out by Rory Bryant. I definitely don't think it was intentional. He got tapped in the rear, and that sent him over in towards the grass. And yep, that's exactly what happened to Adam Brown. Overheated tyres, and it's not working out very, very well. Scott Smith, let's have a look at where he is just now. He is down in P13 just now, so still holding on to himself, and it's still some valuable points for him just now. What a run that Ron Grossman has got out of that final chicane, but he still can't get alongside Jordan Gronkowski. Another exemplary run, defensive driving for Jordan, and he's desperately going to want to hold on to this race win. This is the best result I believe he's had so far, and the gap is just 1/10 of a second as they come down towards the Craner Curves for the 9th time of asking. Down in 14th, 15th and 16th, we've got a cracking little battle here. Raymond Davies ahead of Jacqueline Chalmers, who's ahead of Gary Brown as well. So a wonderful little battle developing down there. They're coming down in towards Coppice as well. And what has happened to Ron Grossman now, because that gap is now 0.5 of a second, so a little bit of daylight in between him and your race leader Jordan Gronkowski. At the moment then, it's John Gronkowski from Ronald Grossman, Adam Brown in 3rd place, Michael Weddle in 4th, Lewis Ward in 5th place, Andrew Hopley in 6th, Martin Buchan in 7th, Pierre Butcher in 8th place, Kieran Smart in 9th, Jack Hare in 10th, John Lang in 11th place, 12th place is Sean Dobie, Scott Smith is in 13th, Raymond Davis is in 14th place, 15th place for Gary Brown, Jacqueline Chalmers down in 16th, and then Sam Harper in 17th and Cameron Ritchie in 18th. That is the last of the runners that are currently out on track just now. We're going to keep an eye on your race leader as we see Ronald Grossman try to take it up the inside of the Craner Curves, and that's going to hand the advantage to John Gronkowski, who just knows exactly where he needs to place that car right now. So well on the defensive drive here, and we've got just 6.5 minutes left to go in this race. We've got more back markers that we're seeing along the back there, and I think that's Adam Brown having a bit of a moment, dropping even further back. Let's have a look at this battle here. I think this is Gary Brown and Jacqueline Chalmers that your race leader are going to come up to just now. We'll find out in just a second, because that gap is just 1/10 of a second. Absolutely incredible stuff. Red on the timing means that they are off track. If you're looking at the live timing, it means potentially that they are slower, I would imagine. Oh no, do you know what it is when I go here and the rest of the cars are in red, that means that the other cars are on a different lap. So the red cars are a lap ahead, the blue cars are a lap behind. So that's what that means. Back to your leaders though, and John Gronkowski. I mean, what a drive. What an absolute drive he's had, both in the first race and in this second race as well. It's been fantastic stuff. He's put the car exactly where it's needed to be. He's held on, and Ronald Grossman is one of the people that you're going to want to be able to defend against as they go on the braking in towards McLean's, and it's going to be the run up to Coppice now for John Gronkowski and Ronald Grossman. Then they're side by side with just 5 minutes left to go. Ronald Grossman trying to go around the outside, and that is a wild move. John Gronkowski surely has the better run out of the corner on the exit of the Coppice there on the run down towards Starkey's corner. John Gronkowski side by side with Ronald Grossman. It's the battle of the late breakers. Can Ronald Grossman get it right there? Said he does, and he just manages to do it, but John Gronkowski gets the better exit of the corner, and again side by side going in towards turn 1, and we've got 3 cars that are on a different lap that are coming up to them as well, and Jordan Gronkowski gets into the lead there. I wonder if there was a slow down penalty there for Ronald Grossman, because Jordan Gronkowski takes the lead back, and wow, amazing stuff there from Jordan Gronkowski, and I wonder if Ronald Grossman is just going to sit back and let Jordan deal with these back markers here. And we're coming up to just 4 minutes left to go in this second race, and this has been an absolute barnstormer right now. And I think this is the battle between Gary Brown, Jacqueline Chalmers, and possibly Sam Harper that's in there. In fact, Raymond Davies in that battle as well. Jacqueline Chalmers is moving out the way, and this is your race leaders coming about to put a lap on them. Oh, there's contact! Jordan Gronkowski sent wide. And Ronald Grossman, that is what you call sportsmanship as well, because I'll tell you why. Ronald Grossman overcooked the brakes, went straight into the back of Jordan, sent him very wide, and I think Ronald could have easily went to take that place, but he waited for Jordan to get back on the track, knowing that he'd cost him that, and had almost cost him that place with Adam Brown as well. So that could have decided things right now for John Gronkowski as Jordan fires it up the inside of one of the lapped cars there. I think that is going to be Sean Doby that he is just behind there just now. In fact, that was Raymond Davies that he's just got past. There goes Gary Brown moving to the side. So Jordan Gronkowski now, just 2.5 minutes left away from him. I'm pretty sure that's going to be his very first race win. In fact, I'll tell you that in just a second, because I can go and dig up the results just now. Half a second ahead of Ronald Grossman. Ronald Grossman now just 0.3 of a second, 0.2 of a second ahead of Adam Brown there as well. So this is thrilling stuff right now. The pace is absolutely relentless right now as we come down to the tail end of this drama here. Adam Brown brought back in from the brink, as we see Jack Hare having a big moment here. He has had a night to forget as well, down into 11th place on the exit of turn 1, and that's going to throw him wide in towards Hollywood as well. And you can see how much of a drama that causes to him. Back with your race leader though, still half a second, and I think we're going to get one more lap, potentially 2 more laps out of this one. We're on the run down towards the final straight here. I think we are going to have the this is going to be the penultimate lap, I believe. Yep, so we'll get another lap after this one, and some big drama right now. Ronald Grossman is going to do well to stay on board and get himself some good points from this round here. And while all that happens, I'm waiting to go and confirm whether or not that is Jordan's first win here for the championship, because he's just done absolutely superbly tonight. That gap has been maintained at half a second. Adam Brown now starting to get dropped by the pair of them there. Let's have a look. Yep, I think that is his very first win. So not only his best performance, but his first win of the season. And we have got 20 seconds left to go. They're on the run down now towards the final chicane. They're going to get one lap in after this one through the final chicane to start his final lap. And what a race this has been for Jordan Gronkowski so far. Here we go then. Just managed to squeeze in one more lap. And what is going to happen here has been a wonderful race. We see Jacqueline Chalmers has crashed out. She was down in I think P16. It looks like the final chicane. I'm hoping she's not taking out Martin Buchan there. Late onto the brakes, and can she get that car stopped in time? Oh, she hits into the back of the number 28 car there. Managed to get going again, but that's absolutely fine for that one. Back with your race leader then on the final lap as we come under Sarkis Bridge on the Schwantz curve up to McLean's for the final time, 0.6 of a second, and Jordan Gronkowski has looked absolutely fantastic through this race. Through Coppice onto Starkey Straits for the final time of asking. Just one more corner stands between Jordan Gronkowski and his very first win of the season. Through the chicane at Roberts, he's exited it absolutely flawlessly, and it's going to be a race win, his very first win of the championship. And Jordan Gronkowski wins race number 2. Ronald Grossman in second place. Adam Brown, a stunning performance from Adam Brown there. Third place for him. Lewis Ward in fourth. Michael Weddle in fifth place there. Andrew Hopley is going to come across the line in 6th place. Martin Buchan is going to finish in P7. Peter Butcher is in P8. Kieran Smart's going to come across the line in P9. John Lang will finish in the top 10 there, securely in the top 10. Jack Hare is going to finish in 11th place. Scott Smith is going to finish in P12. Sean Dobie in 13th. 15th place is Raymond Davies, Jacqueline Chalmers, Sam Harper, Cameron Ritchie, and that is your final running order for that race. My goodness me. Wow, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. What do you possibly say to that one? I do wish my good friend Alex Goldschmidt was able to see the final of that race there, but what a fantastic result there. And let's see if we can get the results up just now. That is from the last race, so we'll just ignore that just now. But wow, we'll go and take a very short break. We'll have some drivers in with us in the Discord. We'll have a little chat with some of the race drivers. Hopefully, we'll get a chat to our race winner. And wow, we'll take a very short break, guys. We'll be right back. A very warm welcome back then as we deconstruct what on earth happened there in race 2. We've got a couple of minutes, so we'll take you through the results there. This is how it shaped up then. Jordan Gronkowski taking the win from Ronald Grossman there. Adam Brown in 3rd place. Lewis Ward in 4th. Michael Weddle in 5th. Andrew Hopley in 6th. Martin Buchan in 7th place. Peter Butcher in 8th place. Kieran Smart in 9th. John Lang in 10th. Jack Hare in 11th place, with Scott Smith finishing a respectable P12. Sean Dobie in 13th place there. And then in 14th place, Gary Brown ahead of Jacqueline Chalmers, and that cracking battle with Sam Harper as well. 17th place for Raymond Davies. And then in 18th place is Cameron Ritchie. Rounding out the grid then is Vic Covey, Fraser Williamson, Rory Bryant, Anil Singh, Peter Moore and Mark Cuthbert. So that then means that the points look a little something like that. Lewis Ward, and again these are provisional, I'll double check the scorings and everything like that, but at the moment looks like Lewis Ward 261 points ahead of Fraser Williamson, so a new championship leader. Jack Hare into 3rd place and Ronald Grossman down into 4th. We'll leave that up there and we'll very quickly get in with some driver interviews, and I think the first person really that we have to go and speak to is Fraser Williamson. Fraser, good evening. Congratulations on the race 1 win, and the less said about race 2, the better.
That's probably for the best of everything, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, how was race 1? Because you did look in a lot of control there.
Race 1, I knew I had to get a good start, I know I've raced Donington before on the GP loop in different cars. I know that the green comes out quite soon after pace car in, so I just nailed it, made sure I was first into turn 1, and I knew I could defend the rest of the race.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Jordan made a mistake. Lap 1, lap 2?
Yeah.
Something around there, and pulled out. Like, he gave me a second lead. Then I just sat and concentrated and turned some laps, made a few mistakes, and almost let them back into it, but I managed to see that one out. I did alright. Just a shame that I can't put myself in positions in race 2 for whatever reasons. Either I don't know. I genuinely don't know at this point. I'm probably doing something.
Do you think? I mean, so obviously, I mean, from our point of view, when we're watching it, Fraser, it just looks like it's a melee into turn 1. It's a completely unavoidable incident for yourself. But as a driver, how does that impact you?
I'm trying to use words that won't get me in trouble. It's annoying knowing. I don't care where I finish in race 2. I said to myself, this is going to be a bloodbath. Let's just survive.
Yeah.
Let's just, I saw at Hampton Road Atlanta when I tried to race people hard that I hadn't raced previously in the season. I tried to race them hard. It gone bad. I made a move on. Oh, my brain's just gone blank. Lewis Ward, made a move on him. Lap 1, turn 1. He saw me, I saw him. We're all going hunky dory. I think he avoided it. I don't know the race 2 results, by the way.
So who were you asking about in race 2?
Lewis Ward.
Lewis Ward.
Survive?
He did, but he was up quite high and then dropped down into P4.
Alright, that might save me slightly in the championship, but I'm going to need luck for the next few rounds. But yeah, we gave each other room through turn 1, and yeah, he was thankfully on the outside for him, and I was on the inside where I had cars.
Yeah, on race 2, that start, it does just look like it was pinball, and you were the pinball.
Yeah, to be fair, I could have just completely backed out, and when I saw it happening, just go to the grass, albeit Ronald didn't deliberately go to the grass, he did that to avoid the first wreck, but I could have just gone, you know what, I'm just sitting to the inside. I'm better to have a clean car and still in the race than trying to take a spot. Which, championship-wise, that's a smart thing. But when you can see your championship rivals around you, then you came into the round 1 point apart. You're not thinking, oh, let me just play, for the 30 car pile-up, or whatever stupidity that was.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Championship standings then, you were asking about them. Lewis Ward, again, by my provisional maths, and this could be wrong, but by my reckoning, he's at the top of the standings now, 261 points ahead of you with 253, and Jack Eyre down with 244. So again, we'll double check those before confirming them, but it's just making those things even more close at the top.
Yeah, because we come into Interlagos, Monza, and Bathurst. Two of them are going to be, if a BMW doesn't win Monza, race 1 or 2, something's gone wrong. And I mean that genuinely, because
I was going to say, I like the optimism there.
Genuinely, if I could switch to BM from this point out, I probably would take it. That's how much stronger I would believe it to be at Monza. And at Bathurst, the BMW has suspension, so it won't do weird things over the mountain, and a Porsche can't overtake it.
Yeah. Well, we wish you the best of luck and hard lines for the start on race 2. But congratulations again for race number 1, Fraser, and we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, I guess we'll speak to you later, I hope.
Here's hoping, buddy. Thank you very much. So that was your race 1 winner and race 2 DNF, Fraser Williamson. Let's go and have a look then, because we don't have Jordan Gronkowski. I was really hoping we'd get a chat with him, but the next best thing is having a chat to the man that came so close to taking that win there. A very, very good evening to Ronald Grossman, and a very solid performance tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
So talk us through that second race just towards the end there, because there was several opportunities where you could have made the move, and it did just look like you were just trying to hold your patience.
When I was past all the wrecks, like a couple of laps in the race, I found myself behind John, and I know that he was kind of fast, so I stayed behind him until we closed up to Adam and passed him, so we are both in the lead. And then I started attacking him. Don't know, I felt like I was a little bit faster than him, but it could also be like maybe the draft. But I felt like he was braking a little bit early here and there compared to me, and especially in the first sector, I was closing massively on him. And then there was this one chance, a couple of laps to the end, where we went too wide down the straight towards the last chicane. And when I came out of there, he was left of me, and I hit the pit limiter button because it's right next to the local left button for me. It's so annoying to me. And maybe I could have gotten, maybe not. Yeah.
Wow. That as someone who's done iRacing, I cannot imagine the words leaving your mouth when you did that. The other lap, that exactly the same place on the final chicane, Ronald, it looked like there was a little bit of contact between you and Jordan, and it looked like you just backed off to let him back onto the track. Is that what happened?
Yeah. As I said, he tended to brake a little bit earlier there, and or in certain parts that was also a part where he braked earlier compared to me, and I took or I paid attention to this the laps prior, but as we were lapping, I was a little bit not focused enough, and I braked a little bit late, so I rear-ended him, and I wouldn't let him drive off because that wouldn't be a fair move.
A fantastic result though this tonight for the championship wise. Still 4th place, 224 points by my reckoning, and that just puts you 37 points behind the race leader with just a couple of rounds left to go. Does that affect how you're going to go into the next races?
I'm probably not aiming for the lead now. I'll probably try to stay in the top 5, which looks good, and I'll probably keep on doing the tactics I try to do. Just keep out of trouble, which worked today and hopefully also works in the future races.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on some great results tonight, Ronald, and we'll look forward to seeing you through the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, let's see. We've got another 3 drivers to have a chat with tonight. Let's have a chat with 3rd place in the championship, Jack Eyre. Jack. Very good evening. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
I'm not too bad. So talk us through that races, because that interesting is possibly the wildest understatement I could possibly use for tonight.
Yeah, well, initially pace was all right. Jumped into practice and was doing race runs, for the majority of the time. Happy with the qualifying result. However, I think I could have gone about a tenth faster, so maybe jumped up into third. But yeah, no, race one was good. Great battles, but yeah, unfortunately, it came undone towards the end. Some enthusiastic lap traffic and a mistake from a teammate just meant that we both went round, but luckily only lost one position, and it was just trying to, get to the end.
Now, given that was, as you said, a mistake with a teammate from Rethink Racing, what are the kind of post-race chats that happen? Are they a little bit tense, or is it all just sort of fairly light-hearted?
Well, I'm trying to take this as seriously as I can. To a degree, of course. I want to win, as like everybody who's entered, really. So, apart from being disappointed, of course, I can't really change that. And Pete's a very competent driver, and has shown his pace at Spa and here. And he would have been very fast at Road Atlanta had he been able to make it. So there's definitely no hard feelings. Of course, we can learn from this and move forward. But yeah, it's these things happen in racing. So yeah, we're still friends, of course.
Either way, third place in the championship leaves you in very, very good standing for the rest of the season. 244 points is what I roughly make of tonight. Being that you're only about 17 points behind the leader. I was saying this to Ronald, does that affect how you go into the remainder of the races? Are you a little bit more cautious to try and get as many points secured as you can, or are you just going for it?
You really have to go for it. I might put a bit more practice into the remaining rounds, but we'll see. Didn't quite do the maths myself, but happy that I'm still, I've retained third place at least. But yeah, we'll see how things go. Looking forward to Interlagos. That's going to be a learning curve, not driven that on iRacing yet.
Excellent. Well, we can't wait to see you back on the track in Brazil, and we will see you next time. Thanks very much for talking to us tonight, Jack. And
thank you.
In the meantime, we'll go and speak to his teammate, Mr. In fact, we'll bring them both in. Both regulars up at Knockhill. A very good evening to Michael Weddle and to Scott Smith. Gentlemen, where do we even begin with tonight?
Maybe race 2, lap 1?
Michael, what happened, mate?
I don't know, it was like a pattern of the seas in front of me. It was quite nice for a change. Everyone just kind of drove into each other, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, guys. Just keep going."
Well, from what we saw, it was your friend Rory Bryant that caused all the. He got a little tap on the rear and got sent into the crowd like bowling pins.
Definitely, I just think it's dirty driving by Rory. I just, what can you do, eh?
I'm saying absolutely nothing, mate. Scott, how was the night in general for you?
Yeah, not too bad. Race 1 obviously a lot better than race 2. I was looking forward to race 2, but the opening lap just wasn't to be. I don't know what happened. I'll obviously need to go back and have a look at the camera footage, but yeah, that was quite horrendous. And then obviously once we got fixed and got going, there was more carnage just going down into Craner Curve, so it was a bit messy and scrappy, but yeah, I did my best and just made my way back through the field best I could.
Now, given all of the drama that we saw for race 2, lap 1 in that first corner, as drivers with real life experience yourself, what's the thinking process for the pair of you going basically into the unknown?
I think it's mostly survive. Just don't do anything silly. Try and pick where the contact is and then drive towards that, because 9 times out of 10, where the contact happens, it's going to that gap will open up. So as soon as I see Rory get pile drived or whatever happened to him, I just went straight where his car was, and it just opened up for me.
And Scott, what about yourself?
Just try not to win it on turn 1. Be patient. There's 30 minutes of racing ahead of us. There's no need to be making silly, irrational mistakes at turn 1, turn 2 on the first lap. Let it fan out, let the field naturally progress, like spread out, and let the racing come to us. There's no reason for this dive bombing, as it would be.
Yeah, no, that's some very, very sage advice. Moving on, since this is kind of a night to forget for that last race. Interlagos, guys, are we looking forward to that one?
Unfortunately, I'm going to miss it, which I'm a bit upset about, because it was the one I was most looking forward to. So
why?
Yeah.
Why are you abandoning us?
I mean, that would be telling, David.
Right. Okay. Scott, are you going to be with us for Interlagos?
Oh yeah, that suits the BMW, so I'm certainly there representing. I don't know why Mikey's so confident there. So
I think what it is he's seen the points, which means that Michael Weddle's on 169 points and Scott, you're on 113. So, a good performance at Interlagos, and Michael could be into the bins on the league side of things. You love the banter, don't you, buddy?
I mean, of course, you got to have it, right?
But Mikey's attitude and elbows out, just I'm going to go for it, might get him some points when he comes back, so you never know.
Yeah, well,
Look, I'm surviving most of them so far. It seems to be working.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time tonight. We're going to throw you out of the room before you cause any more damage. But thank you very much to Michael Weddle there and to Scott Smith. And that is us, guys. Confirmation then that Lewis Ward is on top of the championship at the moment for Fraser Williamson. The only thing that is left for us to do, us being me, because I'm the only person here, Alex has had to shoot off, we still have to discuss the Torque Racewear driver of the day. And I've got to be honest, this is a bit of a dictatorship going on here because it's a one-man decision. For me, it's going to have to be going to Jordan Gronkowski tonight. And that is on the provision that we've not actually awarded it to him before. So if that is the case, Jordan hands down wins it tonight. Some incredible driving, brilliant race win on race 2, and just some wonderful, wonderful defensive driving. Really putting the car where it needed to be. Coming out with a strong race 1 result and taking the win on race 2. So I look forward to the Flame War in Discord for that. I've been Dave Christie. Thank you very much for your company tonight. We will be back in a couple of weeks' time for Interlagos and more drama there. In the meantime, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Join us on Sunday night where you can catch up all the action from the SMRC Console eSports Championship, where we do the finals of the qualifiers that we had for round number 6. Until then, though, have a wonderful, wonderful time, and we will see you very, very soon.